trust in the Lord.
Stop. That's not how we're starting this.
Nope. And action. Cut all that out.
Well, hello everybody.
Hello.
Movie fans. We are trying to establish ourselves as Cinema Girl.
Cinema Squirrel.
So why not? Why not call ourselves that? We are talking about movies all the time now. And
all the time.
All the time.
We love them. We love movies.
And
we love our subscribers. Sorry.
Yes, we do. Welcome, new subscribers. We get a couple each time, it seems, and we're thrilled about that. And today we are talking about the movie that just landed on Netflix. I guess it's a Netflix original.
Yes.
Called In Your Dreams, an animated film. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say, because I'm trying to do that thing where the movie is about a feeling. I'm gonna try that. So I'm saying that it is about the anxiety of an older daughter who so desperately wants to save her parents' faltering marriage that she enlists her brother on a quest to take it up in a dream world, thanks to a magic book they find in an employees-only area of a bookshop. Do you feel like that's what it's about?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. I feel like I really enjoyed this movie while I was watching it. And yet I feel like I continue to think about it and maybe continue to have like little quibbles with it here and there. Mainly I think maybe they bit off a little bit more than they maybe realized they were chewing. I'm not sure. This movie, I kind of felt like this movie was coming for me because it has a lot in common with my own life.
That's right. Yes.
But what are your thoughts, Squirrel? And then we can just kind of keep getting into it.
I liked it. First off the bat, I thought it was great. I did worry at the start, like the film looks good for Netflix's animation studios. I would guess they would call it props and backgrounds and scenery. That was all great, and I felt it was a bit more lived in than anything Pixar did. And I know, come at me Pixar fans, hey, I love Pixar, okay? But by Toy Story 4, that's when you're getting this similar kind of feel. Like things are chipped, things are worn, things have scuffs. My only quibble with this movie is the characters look too smooth. They look too clean.
Okay.
I was kind of wanting like some little blemishes on them, but that is a tiny nitpick. Tiny. The voice acting was great. The plot, I like the plot a lot. And this squirrel has kind of like through the years, I never thought the Sandman was a good thing. Like, apart from the song, Mr. Sandman, Bring Me a Dream, which is in the movie. But I've read different stories where the Sandman is kind of creepy and kind of not good. And this one, you know, spoiler alert, we're just discussing the film, but this one turns out very similar. And halfway through, I was like, they're really making the Sandman out to be like a Santa Claus kind of character. And of course, then it all becomes like clear he's got nefarious purposes, and I was like, aha, vindicated. I knew he was evil because some of the stories I've read, he's bad. Anyway, I liked it. That's short answer to your question. Thought it was great.
All right, hold on.
Plot wise, I got a little worried at the start. There was a little too much slapstick. Like this film deals with divorce and lots of like sadness, but a lot of fun too. But I thought there was a little bit too many, our lead characters fall down, go boom, isn't that funny, kids? And I'm like, yeah, I think you might not need to appeal to the slapstick mentality because they're doing a great job acting in this CG film.
Yeah. So things that I thought were pretty great about this movie. Well, the funny thing is, I kind of feel like sometimes these movies may not realize that the realistic part of the story is actually the most interesting part of the story.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I'm starting to notice a lot of times with animated films. And I did go see the new Garfield movie when it came out.
Oh boy, I missed that one. Lucky me.
And it was in Garfield's world for just about 8 minutes or something before it needed to go off onto the next thing. And I was like, wait, if they had just stayed in Garfield's house with John and Garfield's like ordering DoorDash and stuff. And I was like, oh, it's what Garfield's doing in a modern time. That could have been a great movie. And instead they had to come up with this whole reason to get us out of that setting. And I'm like, well, we're not bored of this setting yet. And I think...
Right, that was the whole point of the comic for a long time. Anyway.
Right. Much like, graphic novels, like real life, true to life graphic novels, are really popular. And all the, your Raina Telgemeyers, your, the person who wrote the Ghosts, well, not that that's fully realistic, but the Sheets, Delicate Slights series, like that's amazing. And there's a lot of great graphic novels out there. The Best Friends by Shannon Hale. Like there's a lot of things out there that kids are really loving it and adults love it. I mean, I got super into all of those. And I feel like this movie is like giving us a lot that's really interesting. Like it opens with, the song Hey Ya and making breakfast. Yeah. Even though that does turn out to be a dream, I think it's like, oh, this is a family life and I want to hang out with this family. This is a brother and sister dynamic. I could watch them do just about anything. I don't need to see them battling the Sandman or whatever. I could actually watch them like have dinner and the nuances of that. When she's in the bookstore and clearly has a crush on the boy who works there. When they go to a alternate universe Chuck E. Cheese called Polly's Pizzeria.
Oh my goodness.
And
that was great.
That was amazing. And that's just like giving, sorry, hair on my mouth. They're giving us like
That's how real we are with you subscribers. Hairs in mouth. Squirrels.
Well, we'll admit it. Yeah.
No second takes.
I think that that kind of stuff was so well done.
Yep.
That I was almost like, do we need to do the whole dream thing? Because also, so like full disclosure, I'm someone who used to be married to somebody that I was in more than one band with. So when I see
Me too.
This is wait, what?
Us squirrels can have divorce. I'm a product of divorce.
You're divorced from a squirrel that you were in a band with?
Oh, not with a band, no.
Okay,
but we've all, maybe we've all been touched by divorce.
I feel like you haven't told me that story, Squirrel. But yeah,
My band years, sorry.
Specifically, this set of parents, they who are only identified as dad and mom. And like, are we getting into something here? Is the identity, of course, the story maybe it's their dad and mom because it's kind of told from the point of view of Stevie, the older sister. They definitely have gotten the, oldest daughter syndrome correct. This girl is like freaking out, trying to be more responsible than she should have to be. Right. And I might be a little all over the place. I do think that the female characters, one thing I dislike about this movie is that just the trend where female characters have to be the serious ones. And I feel like both the mom and the daughter are the ones like, so apparently this husband and wife had a band together. The dad is the songwriter, I guess, but he's still kind of hanging out. He's like, I'll take you to Polly's Pizzeria when mom's out of town. And I'm over here working on my songs. I'm somebody who works on songs, so I'm not like coming after him. Like I relate to that, but he did seem a little worry-free.
Right. If there's fun to be had in the kitchen of throwing food or dancing, the mom's kind of rolling her eyes at first. So that's a little cliched of like, one of the parents can't just join in. They have to be a bit like, I'm the grown-up here, and then break down to, oh, all right, let me just dance around and be silly.
Right.
We've seen that quite a few times.
And see, the mom was in the band too. And then she's now trying to get like some sort of professor type job, some sort of like academic job somewhere in Duluth, like in another town. And they're trying to say like, that's the big issue. And I guess I'm just saying, in this movie, I feel like they're taking on something that's pretty heavy. There was definitely times throughout the movie I was like, whoa, this is heavy. Oh my gosh, this is heavy.
I thought that too.
And in many ways, I think this movie shares some feels with Inside Out, including it's got its own Bing Bong character in a way. It's got its own wacky character who joins them maybe midway in some of these more surreal adventures.
Tony Baloney?
Baloney Tony, voiced by Craig Robinson, is kind of this movie's Bing Bong.
I got Donkey from Shrek.
Okay.
From that character, but until I realized about 4 or 5 lines in, Baloney Tony's just looking out for number one. He just keeps exiting scenes when danger, and I realized, like, wait a minute, he's not giving words of wisdom. He's like, I think the most he said was like, it's not you, it's me, and jumps off a thing and leaves the characters like, you deal with it, bye.
Well, Baloney Tony, the stuffed animal that comes to, joins them in some of their dream adventures, but kind of gave me additional from like Breakfast Land or whatever, like some of the dreams. They do a lot of great stuff with dreams. Sorry, yes. I feel like this. My thoughts are all over the place. Something they do very well: oldest daughter syndrome, epic bad dreams, dreams that start happy and then turn into nightmares. All of that stuff. I was like, whoever did this dreams like this, and I was like, oh my gosh.
They dream like this, or they research dreams. Because yeah, anything you've ever heard about dreams, teeth falling out, flying. Going to school naked, they all pop up in this film, which was great. I love that. I love the fact that they had done some dream research at least.
Or dreamed it this way.
Dreamed it and went, that's going in.
It felt very real to me. Like, I'm definitely someone who has dreams where like things are going well, they're going well, and then all of a sudden here comes like a tidal wave, or here comes like enemy, like military folks storming the town or whatever. Like, that happens to me a lot. So I was like, okay, I think there's a little bit Rise of the Guardians, a little with Sandman. There's a little bit Gremlins with the whole, we found this magic book in the basement, and they did steal it too, which we never really get into that. But
I think either the animators or the director might have been a fan of Poltergeist for the nightmares. There is like almost a recreation of a shot of like tree backlit by lightning. Someone looks out the window and went, oh, that was in Poltergeist, and I think it was the exact same shot, which is great. Anyway.
Okay. Yeah, so I think like there's that fantasy part, and through that fantasy part, they're trying to solve the issue of like, can we save our parents' marriage? And in a way, by saying like, we're going to make our dreams come true through this, following the rules of this dream world. It almost makes divorce seem more random and also more randomly solvable. And like, I worry that there might be some kids out there going like, maybe if we just got into a really big calamity and our parents had to jump in and save us, everything could be okay. Like, I feel like opening up the can of worms of divorce, I wonder if they consulted any like therapists or psychologists or anything when they were putting this movie together, because that is a big can of worms to bring out. And I think, you were talking about like the chipped, everything's chipped, looks lived in. Yes, I loved that. And when they're over the city flying around on his bed that comes alive in the dreams, they're looking at another house that has a pool, and they're like, why don't we have a pool? Are we poor? Are we poor? Well, they seem to own their own house, so by today's standards, they're not.
They're not doing too bad.
They're not poor, but there clearly is some kind of financial struggle, and that's why the mom is willing to consider a job in another town and maybe giving up on like the music that they clearly had together. So I guess I'm wondering, like, why is it still important for the dad to have a band but the mom no longer? We don't, like, that wasn't that part of her dream. And if we get into the title, like, in your dreams, there's like different levels here, like in your dreams, like you're dreaming at night, and but there's also the sort of dodgeball in your face, in your dreams, like this is not going to work out. There's
Right.
also dreams like goals, and the dreams of the parents to maybe have this band. She finds like an old like concert poster of her parents preserved in like plastic wrap in this same store, and she's like, oh, this was from my parents. And I think like clearly they were kind of successful at some point, at least locally.
Right.
And I think I kind of feel like somebody picked that as an idea, but maybe didn't know too much about it. And so I guess as a person that's been in bands and like that even having kids and being a band makes it difficult, that that a creative dream is a scary dream to have, that to follow creativity versus following like a dream that maybe is a more like salaried position, that it's hard, and the mom maybe is having to give up on part of her dream, the shared dream of being in this band together that maybe was a big part of their relationship to begin with. And I think this movie is like, it's playing with stuff that I'm like, okay, there's more to get into here. And maybe you could say like, oh, well, this is the part that the kids see. So, but I'm like, I don't know. I felt like they're trying to create this whole dream world storyline while also talking about some very real big issues. And maybe I'm weirdo that I'm just like, we could skip Nightmare and the Sandman, and I just want to know more about the parents. And I don't know. I think the movie felt a little incomplete to me because maybe we never saw the dad character, who is a songwriter, trying to figure out, was there some other way he could make money? Mm-hmm. And maybe they showed, it seemed like the main conflict was whether the mom was going to take a job in Duluth or not, and whether or not the dad wanted to move to Duluth. Whereas maybe the real problem is that we have to monetize creativity, unfortunately. And what was the dad doing to do that? What were their jobs even? Did he have any gigs over the course of this? It kind of seemed like the dad wasn't really trying very hard to make a go of it.
True.
And the mom was stressing out over the bills, and
which is to, maybe I interpreted this a bit different. What was that movie of the guy on his own island that invites the band to come play?
The Ballad of
right.
Something Island.
Right. So that was great. And of course, can't remember the title. Sorry, film, you were awesome.
Right.
But it's like that also had a duo. Mm-hmm. And she kind of moved on and was doing her own thing and wasn't doing music, but he couldn't and was still sort of, granted, he was like trying to release a record that was terrible and then rethought that by the end of the movie. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I saw that as maybe they did have a band in your dreams, and the gigs kind of dried up, so the mom had to be practical and move on, and the dad just couldn't do it. So he's stay-at-home dad, but yeah, has his own room. Oh, you pointed this out. He has his own room for music, and the daughter's like, I wish I had my own bedroom. Right. Well, sorry, your dad needs his room for his guitars.
Yeah.
Bit selfish.
How many people are going to notice that? But I totally did. I was like, oh, so dad needs a room to play his guitar in. And meanwhile, these kids who are getting older and older are like stuck sleeping side by side.
Yeah,
and...
Right. Meanwhile, a plot point is, I wish I had my own room. It's right there, girl.
Right.
Ask your dad.
Yeah, why don't you ask him about that?
But also to your point earlier about being poor. And yeah, it's like, I wasn't too sure. Maybe this is just my squirrel ADHD. Mm-hmm. Following it, it's like the kids talked about, are we going to be split up? is Dad gonna move away? And they
Right.
talked about it, but that never happened. Like at the end, they packed up one truck and one car,
Right.
and we're all leaving as a family unit
In separate cars.
in separate cars. But I never got the feeling like, well, the divorce is final or anything.
No.
I felt like, well, we're still together. We're just kind of talking about divorce, and maybe we're staying together because practically in this day and age, you might have to with your income and Dad's gigs or whatever he's doing.
Interestingly, the dad, this is probably wasn't supposed to mean anything, but the final scene of it, the dad and the son are driving the moving truck away, and then the dad hasn't completely closed
Oh, right.
the back, gate of the moving truck, and all this stuff comes falling out, and it's like, was that supposed to be symbolic of like,
Right.
he still doesn't want to do this?
Is he a lovable goof, or is
'cause he
that
wanted-
like, I just destroyed our belongings on purpose?
Because he did say like, like this is the town where we got our first hits and stuff. So I don't know, I don't know. I just think that like they probably would have had way more conversations besides just moving to Duluth, and I feel like maybe if a movie wants to get into that, like let's get into it, but to just kind of throw it in there a little willy-nilly maybe felt like a little irresponsible to me, even though it is good to see representation of things like that in movies. I just think it's a painful thing. It was painful for me to see it through the eyes of the kids because, I didn't experience that particular thing as a kid. And so, yeah, as a parent, I'm like, ouch, like watching this and watching the toll it's taking on the daughter. Something I loved is the sibling teamwork,
Yep.
and also all the fun they had creating, all the fun that the animators and writers or whatever had with creating these dream worlds and being really inventive with them, and the recurring joke of the little turtle noise machine can like basically knock the little brother out like right
Immediately.
away, and I thought that was good. I thought Baloney Tony was fun. I just think, unlike Inside Out, where which I still feel like is a heavy movie, but it's so much about like the alternate worlds. We're trying to help.
Right.
We're trying to help the girl work through something real. I felt like in this, the alternate world was somehow supposed to like solve it in this fantastic way. Oh, and then it briefly does get solved for her, and what it means is that there never was the younger brother.
Right.
She
And I
sees the
appreciated how quickly the Stevie just hated it. It was like she liked it at the start, and I thought, how long are they going to do this scene where it's like she has her own room, Mom and Dad are great, they're having breakfast, and it didn't take long to be like, I miss my brother. There's the big piece missing.
Yeah. So I think that ultimately she's kind of like, maybe as long as I have my brother, like I'm good, or like that bond is very, very special. And I felt like their relationship felt really real to me, and I thought
they annoyed each other. they would snap at each other, but then you could tell like they care about each other.
Yeah.
That came across really well in an animated film.
right.
Normally that's live action, you can see the actors' nuances, and this is like, that's well done when it's an animated film and you get that feeling like, oh, these two love each other.
Right.
They know what's up. But yeah, also tiny detail about the turtle thing I loved was that it's this big plot point of, it knocks him out. And then she's like, we have to go back in the dream. And he's like, not with that nightmare person. No, thank you. I'm not dreaming. And was he drinking like coffee out of a can? And it's like, whoa, he's like 5 or 6. Anyway, then when he comes around to be like, no, we have to go back in the dream. And he hands the turtle to her.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, then they press the button and nothing happens, and they have to press the button twice. I'm like, I love that. It's like the electronics didn't work the first time. It's like, press it again.
And that thing has clearly been around since he was a baby.
Right.
So,
So it doesn't work perfectly.
Yeah.
And someone thought of that. Put it in the film.
Yeah. So, like, I feel like this was, like, a really ambitious movie. I think the pain of the divorce storyline, I don't know if, just much like I don't know if I'm always seeking out Inside Out. I think
It did become the benchmark of like awesome animated film.
Yeah, and it's a great movie, and also I know that I'm going on an emotional ride every time I see it, and just like I'm not always like, you know what I need to see again? What's a painful movie? I don't name a painful movie. Name an emotionally difficult movie. Okay.
Kramer versus Kramer.
I was gonna say like Harold and Maude is one of my favorite movies.
Oh,
Kramer
yeah.
versus Kramer. Yeah, or that. Because there's a lot of pain in it, even if there's parts that you really like. So I feel like this movie. I don't know how many families are going to be like, let's pop this one in again, that's filled with like divorce anxiety for children.
Especially that the mystical, magical characters turn out to kind of be bad. One's nightmare inducing, and then she sort of, Nightmare turns out to be kind of Joan Rivers-esque kind of, let me tell you how it is, kid. And
Right.
That was cool. But then the animation on the Sandman was beautiful. Like, just the sand clouds coming off him.
And all the sandlings and stuff.
Sandlings, his
like
world
minions.
is like MC Escher sand castles.
Yeah.
Folding in on themselves. Great stuff, great visuals. But yeah, it's not exactly like, I want to play with a Sandman action figure. Like, I don't need a Sandman Happy Meal, thanks.
I'd almost more like a Polly's Pizzeria figure. So
I collect all of those.
So yeah, I almost wonder, I feel like this movie took like some big swings or whatever, and I think it maybe just took on too many things, more things that could be like satisfactorily resolved, or I feel like the whole dream thing could have just been its own movie. I think they just wanted to give her a reason to want to go in there. I don't know. It's a tough one. I think, and again, I was like, whether or not the families, cue up the movie again and again, kids might choose to cue it up again and again, and it might be cathartic for them. Or they might just enjoy all the dream stuff and not get too bothered by the other stuff. But I would say that like parents and marriage and relationships and being parents and all of this stuff, and trying to make all that work for a really, really long time, and trying to throw in the struggles of a creative job, and trying to make your own dreams come true in addition to everybody else's dreams. Maybe we could have stood to see more of the mom's anxiety in the middle of the parents' anxiety, and it just felt like the daughter was carrying all the anxiety for everyone. So justice for Stevie, and I hope that I guess that the resolution in the end is maybe that she would rather choose a so-called imperfect future as long as it's real. So, maybe it's that reality ultimately is more precious than our dreams or perfection. Do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you pointed out to me, because I was loving the movie so much that I had forgotten Netflix Animation Studios had made another one. And I was like, is this their first film? This is great. And you were like, no, they did Leo.
Somebody did Leo, and it was on Netflix. I think it was Netflix.
I think it was them,
they've done more.
That was good too. More. So yeah, I'm invested. Like, I'm going to be watching more Netflix Animation Studio films. They're great.
Yeah, and just looking at like, what are the movies coming out? What are the brand new movies coming out? You can find that information. In fact, I'm Maybe I'll put a link right here. Let's look at it. Yeah. To
right there.
the website I like to go to see. And it shows you which ones are in the movie theater, which ones are Apple TV, which ones are Netflix or whatever, view on demand, stuff like that. And it's kind of fun to see what's coming out. So many things coming out. And we're here to say, watch those things, give them some ratings, show up in those movie theaters, and then talk with your friends.
And we realize, like, maybe people are like, I can only afford one streaming service. I know we've talked about films that are on Apple TV and Netflix, so we're just lucky that, yeah, we can invest in these because we love the films. But if you have Netflix, check this out. If you don't and you have Apple TV, don't watch Lost Bus. But that's a side point. But yeah, maybe get a friend to invite you over to watch their Netflix and be like, watch this in your dreams.
Everybody
it's
get
great.
a streaming service and host some parties, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a good idea.
There you go.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Tell us what you think.